Hey guys, this is SoFlo Josh, and today we finally have somewhat of a confirmation via Stellantis' media site that the 3-liter inline 6 turbo will be coming to the brand. So let's get right into this video. So via Stellantis' media site, if you go over and you put in the search bar the code name for the engine, which is GMET6, you will go ahead and see that there is two different news applications for it. Now, these news applications are under the manufacturing operations, as well as where the engines are being built in the plants. So the plant that the 3-liter inline 6 turbo will be built in is the same one that builds the 5.7-liter Hemi, 6.2-liter supercharged Hellcat engine, the 6.4 Apache engine, as well as the other 6.4 that has been manufactured by them that has the e-torque system involved in it. So we kind of have now a confirmation that the 3-liter inline 6 has been beginning production. Now, I believe that the production is solely for testing purposes only, to test out the quirks for it. But right now, we kind of have this kind of confirmation, and it's crazy because we've been hearing about this engine for a very, very long time. Way before, FCA merged with, Peugeot to become Stellantis as we know it today. So the plant that I'm going to be specifically talking about is the Saltillo engine plant, which is in Mexico. So all these engines that I mentioned have been built in Mexico for a very long time, so we kind of know them already. Now, this 3-liter inline 6 turbo is very important to the brand. First of all, if you know about the EPA is putting in stricter and stricter boundaries for the manufacturers to meet when it comes to MPG, fleet-wise, and of course with this new 3-liter inline 6 turbo, it could actually mitigate that whole entire issue. Now, the engines that specifically might be going away because of this engine is the 5.7-liter V8 Hemi, which has been a very tried and true engine, but it's been a long time since the engine's been in here, and they've hardly made any kind of improvements to it for the new EPA standards that we have here in the United States. The 6.2-liter V8 supercharged engine, we already know that that's completely going away because that will never ever meet the standards of the EPA. But one thing to note is the 6.4-liter might actually not go away. Now, the reason why it might not go away is because that engine has an e-torque version. If you ever look at the Ram 1500 as well as the Jeep Grand Wagoneer and Wagoneer, you can get a 6.4-liter V8 under the hood with the e-torque system. So with that 48-volt mild hybrid kind of system that they have in that version, it kind of mitigates that whole entire meeting the standards of the EPA, kind of like here's this, don't penalize us for this. So I suspect that the engines that will be coming out soon, like the 3-liter inline 6 turbo, will be alongside the 6.4-liter V8 if you want that for the next generation Charger, the next generation Challenger. It will more than likely 100% come into the Jeep Grand Cherokee, both the L and the two-row version, as well as, of course, the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. And one thing to note is when you look at this page here, it says 3-liter GMET6 HO. So what does HO mean? Well, HO means for high output. So this could be the high output engine, and the reason why they're incorporating it into probably the Wagoneer first would be because, we already know that the Wagoneer is based on the Ram 1500 chassis, so it's a body-on-frame chassis. It's not a unibody, so of course there's going to be a lot of extra weight there. So to mitigate that whole entire weight, they probably are making the high output version first, which would mean that it would more likely go out into the Grand Wagoneer first. So we gotta keep that in mind. The high output is currently the one that's being built. There is different versions of this. The highest output one, like we are mentioning here, can actually make roughly around 525 horsepower via what Mopar Insider has said. So that would be pretty cool to see 525 horsepower out of this engine. It's an inline 6 turbo. I'm sure that a lot of mechanics who are working right now at the Jeep, Dodge Chrysler, Ram dealerships are going to be very, very happy for this new inline 6-cylinder. It's basically a mechanic's dream to work on an inline 6-cylinder. I mean, it's super simple to work on compared to you working on a V8 or a V6 engine. So this is going to be great. Now, of course, the GM ET6 could also have a PHEV version. So, of course, the plug-in hybrid version would be a great thing to have for people who want to have, you know, maybe that 525 horsepower, but a little bit more horsepower with that added plug-in hybrid system. And the thing to know is that currently the engine, the way that they're using the 3-liter right now is actually based on the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged that they currently have out on the Jeep Wrangler. So they're just using that and then adding, you know, two extra cylinders to it, and then they called it a day there. So with that being said, think about it. If you're using that same exact block, you can easily kind of transfer it over the PHEV version that's used on the 4xe and just make one for, you know, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer 4xe, Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, if they ever want to make the inline 6-cylinder an option compared to having the 2.0 turbo. Because I know that there's some people out there who are kind of iffy about, you know, having a 2-liter turbo in a essentially a mid-size SUV, which I completely understand. I mean, if I'm going to be paying so much money, I would want to have a greater engine displacement with electric assist, you know. But of course, that's just me. So keep this all in mind. I'm sure that this engine is, of course, like I mentioned, and many other people mentioned, for example, Mopar Insider has confirmed it in the past multiple times, and still is Stella Power, that this 3-liter inline 6-cylinder that we're going to be getting will be going into the Charger and Challenger for the next generation, and that's going to be a great option to have for those people who don't like the current Pentastar V6. I mean, if we look at the Charger right now, it's a very heavy vehicle, and adding this engine in would be extremely great to mitigate that whole entire weight difference with the amount of power that it's going to be delivering. And of course, this engine can be mated to either the all-wheel drive system, or it can be directly to rear-wheel drive as well as remember that this engine will be getting the 9-speed, I think it's the 8-speed automatic transmission that we currently see in the Jeep Grand Cherokee with the V6 and the V8. So it's gonna be getting that, and I'm pretty happy that they're gonna go ahead and go through with this engine. I cannot wait to hear the way that it's gonna sound. Inline 6-cylinders sound super, super good. If you know BMWs, they sound extremely good, especially with the M340i versions, as well as the inline 6-cylinders and the 40i version of the X5. So imagine that plus, you know, the high output, the 525 horsepower. It's going to be crazy, and I'm sure that engine, the high output version, will be the top trim or the performance trim that Stellantis will be coming out with for the brand. Well, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe onto the channel. You know, we're going into a new year, so I just want to say Happy New Year's to you all if I don't post another video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful new year and a wonderful day. Bye-bye.